Matt Rhule joins us here. Coach, good to see you. Thanks for a few minutes and making time this morning. You're a big community guy with being able to sit down with players, get to know, and spend time with all the players and kids on the Nebraska football team. So I saw the tweet the other night about Taco Tuesday, and you didn't get the invite. So if you're making dinner, I want to start off before football. What's your spread? What's your menu? What are you making for the team?
Well, luckily for me, my wife went to culinary school. So,
oh, what, really?
Yeah, so she's gonna do probably all the cooking. If it's me, we're probably going to go out to a restaurant.
Okay. So maybe burgers?
Maybe I can throw some burgers. I can throw some burgers on the grill. I can probably do a little something there. But my cooking range is limited to like omelets for the girls in the morning, and really microwaving things up. So
okay, that's all right.
Yep. I'm no Garrett McGuire. So.
No, that's fine. I know. So Matt Rhule with us. Coach, exciting for so many Nebraska fans, 2003 football season just around the corner. And I want to ask you a little bit here about the chemistry factor with the football team and just some of your stops and your expertise, how you plan to get that chemistry to grow it really and make it a reality for this football team, how one another with each player can play for one another when times get tough.
Yeah, I think we're always trying to build that sense of brotherhood, that sense of a shared purpose, also a sense of shared experiences. That guys may come from different backgrounds, but whether it's Gus and our player development team, community service, player events, making guys interact with different people, whether it's dinner, whether it's moving into the dorms and picking the roommates for them so they meet different people. I think the more that we have common experiences, the more that we share a bit of our lives with each other, we start to have respect for each other. And those relationships, they don't show up usually until they're needed, until really difficult times. And so that's part of our entire plan, the entire offseason. And as we get into the season, really teaching the game because to have success, you need someone else to do their job, and making sure the guys understand that this is a game that we work together. And I think we've done a really good job. Our players have bought into it, and we just have to carry it through the season.
Coach Matt Rhule is with us here on Hail Varsity Radio and KF4 Mornings as Schmidt holding down the fort in Indianapolis. I'm back here in Lincoln. And Coach, with all the news that coming out of the Big Ten in the past couple of weeks with the hazing allegations at Northwestern that have really rocked that program, and now the allegations with the toxic culture at Minnesota. I'm not asking you to speak on these other programs, but I want to ask you if there's been any learning lessons for you as you attempt to build a team culture and maintain that culture at Nebraska. Have you taken anything away from those stories?
No. I think at the end of the day, I recognize that in the world we live in now, people are going to rise up at different times and say different things. And I think, this is my 11th year being a head coach. I've been blessed. I've always taken the approach of making sure that everything that we do every single day, if it was being aired on ESPN, that, I'd be okay with that. And so, I think you can show a transcript of something someone says, and there can be context one way or the other. And, we're here for a very simple purpose, and that's to help improve the lives of young people. And so if that's your purpose, then you're going to have a great culture. You're going to have great experiences. Not everyone's always going to be happy, but overall it's going to be the right thing. And so we take great pride in the way we treat our players, the way we're pushing them to be great. And you know what, just have to believe in that and trust in that, and trust that it won't be for everybody, but most of the players will really, really be grateful.
Speak to that treatment and how it transitions to buy-in.
Well, you hope that guys say, man, I have a relationship with my coach. He cares about me as more than just a football player. In my darkest moments, when I'm failed and I'm laying, broken on the floor, my coach is going to be there to have my back and pick me up. If they have that sort of a feeling, then they're gonna step up and fight for you. They're gonna have your back. They're gonna want to help you, just like you're helping them. And then that starts to transcend to each other. And so, to me, that's why we spend so much time in the off season with our players. That's why we want to get to know them on a deeper, more personal level. And I think that is what makes great teams. It might not, people think of teams, they think about talent, they think about play calling, they think about all these things, but really to me it's about how the team interacts and fights for each other. And I don't know where we are yet. I'll have to get to some adversity until I find out. But I know we're on the path and we're doing the right things.
Matt Rhule with us here at Big Ten Media Days. Coach, what are some strengths as you've kind of tracked this team not far off from camp time here? What, I guess, do you perceive as some of the strengths of this football team? A broader question. I
think we have a tough physical team. I think based upon what I saw in the spring, we have a lot of guys that are going to play the game the right way. We have some veteran players on the offensive line and a tight end that I'm excited about. We've got a really good running back room. Excited about Jeff Sims, who I brought here, as well as Heinrich and Chuba. I think anytime you have a quarterback that you believe in, and we have 3 that we believe in, you're going to have a chance to win. So, to me, it's less about like the actual team itself and more about us getting into the fourth quarter of games and making the plays that maybe we haven't made the last couple of years. And so that's everything from conditioning to the way that we practice to preparing them for those situations and then hoping that it manifests itself on game day.
What's the right amount to run a quarterback?
Over the years, I've really thought a lot about that. I've probably come a little more for full circle on it. I don't know if you can run it. I think if you're running him to get 3 yards and get tackled by 7 people, repetitively is probably not the right thing. I think if you can create explosive plays, if situationally on third downs you can convert third and fourth downs, you can score touchdowns in the red zone. The thing with Jeff, the thing with Heinrich, the thing with Chuba, they're all 4-4, 4-5, 4-6 guys. I don't want to rob them of what makes them great. And for Jeff, it might just be dropping back to pass and tucking it and taking off. It might just be those unscripted runs that make him great. But I see the young man from Florida, his name escapes me, Richardson. Could come to the Colts, and a lot of it based upon his athletic ability. So we're going to try to turn those guys loose. We don't want to be silly with it and have them getting, like I said, just running up the middle and getting 3-4 yards 10 times and getting beat up. But if we can make some plays with them, we will.
Coach Matt Rhule's with us here, and Coach, whenever you talk about that quarterback run game, how long are you expecting it to take to develop what that bread and butter is going to be with the offense? Because you've spoken plenty about how much you want to run the ball at Nebraska, and I just want to get your thoughts on learning this team and figuring out what the right balance is going to be for that offense. How long do you think that process is going to take?
It takes a while, to be honest with you. Unfortunately for me, it's always taken me about a year, to kind of go through a season in a conference and figure out, like, hey, this is what the Big 12 is. This is what the American is. This is how we can win now. Even the Big 10 3 years ago is different than now. Like, I see Luke Fickell walking over there. They're going to come in and run the spread, right? So I've got to see who I have to beat. That being said, we've worked really hard to not have it take a year. We're fighting. But we're blessed that we start the year off with 2 Power 5 teams on the ourselves after playing Minnesota and playing Colorado. So those first two games will really help us. I think we'll have a chance to come back and really look at who we are. But we'll be doing it every day during camp and trying to figure out, hey, what does Gabe Irvin do well? What does our O-line do well? What do our tight ends do well? And capitalize on that.
Last thought, and we'll get you out. And, Coach, good to meet you, and thanks again. What do you think the Big Ten as a conference does well?
I think it's the upfront play. I think it's the defenses in the upfront play. You look at last year at the NFL draft. I think there was more Big Ten O-linemen drafted than there were SEC O-linemen. So I think there's just a lot of really good big, O-linemen, D-linemen in this league. So for us, it's about building the size of our lineup, getting great quarterback play, and finding speed that we can train at the skill position so that Nebraska can be big, fast, and explosive.
Coach, take care. Thanks for
you, brother.
Making time.
Good to see
Appreciate
you, man.
You.